today. We have a very powerful show for you guys today. A special guest that has joined us, and I wanted to welcome you guys first and foremost to the show. Um, we just wanted to bring on a guest to be able to share her experiences with her healing process. And this particular guest, quite interesting story. And I just wanted to implore you all to please wait until the end of the show because something miraculous is destined to happen. So we want you guys to sit tight and sit back, relax, and enjoy the beautiful messages that Spirit has for us all today. So
Yes.
our special guest, she again has a heavy story, so I do want to warn some of you about the content of this show, but it is all um, in allowing us all to be able to learn from her experience and understand who we are as spiritual beings. So this particular guest, she was molested at the age of 4 by her stepfather and all the way, I'm sorry, all the way until her late teens, and unfortunately um had became pregnant as a result of this molestation. And it was important for us again to share her story, and I wanted to welcome her to the show. Miss Tretta, say hi to
Hi.
everybody. Thank you for being so brave for coming on today and sharing your story and allowing us to be able to, again, express some of the things that you did encounter during your healing process. And I know that Keisha was the person that you were able to work with during your healing session. And first and foremost, I just kind of wanted to understand. Um, well, first and foremost, tell everybody, what do you do for a living, Tretta?
I'm a retired worker, healthcare worker,
Mm-hmm. Cool. And you're retired. And how old are you, Tretta?
62.
62 years
Mhm.
old, and have been in the healthcare industry just like Keisha and I find that interesting. So automatically, I'm picking up that you were meant to serve and be a helper to other spirits. So that's a beautiful assignment.
Oh
So
yeah.
I just
Yes.
want to know a little bit more about what actually led you to wanting this particular healing session. What called you to this?
Well, I mean, I was always looking for somebody to actually help me and talk to me through things and everything. And then I saw a podcast where you and Keisha was on it, so I said, okay, let me reach out to them.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's great.
Excellent.
That means your guides called us, and that's usually how it works. Your guides
Yes.
usually
Oh, okay.
will call us to step in when there's something that we have to bring to your attention and bring it to a certain level of awareness. So I know Keisha, you took the time to get to know Miss Tretta and her experience. So tell everybody a little bit about the beginning processes of this healing journey.
So again, Tretta, like she said, she had called and wanted to find out how can she get her session. And we had did a previous podcast show about preparing for quantum healing hypnotherapy. So I did the same thing for Tretta. We had a pre-interview, and during the pre-interview over the phone, this was prior to meeting her in the office. That's when Tretta revealed to me that she had been molested from the age of 4 by her stepfather. So I was really like taken back because I don't find I've never spoke to know anyone directly about being molested from a young age. I know individuals have been molested, but not at the age of 4. So I actually it rattled me, and I was kind of intrigued. Like, okay, this lady really needs some help. But I was a little reluctant because Tretta had revealed to me that she had 3 strokes since 2018.
Mm.
So Tretta herself had revealed that she had stopped dreaming since 2018 when she had her first stroke. And one of the stipulations for Janine and I is that we have learned that people who do not dream have a hard time going under. So I was a little concerned about that. But something told me don't let her go. Okay, so Tretta and I finally got to meet in the office, and it was a beautiful experience. We started out for a whole hour with discussing her history of when she first remember having the molestation and the time up until the time when she ran away from home. And we'll discuss that in a few minutes, but it was really disheartening for me, and I was so elated to know that I was actually honored that you chose us to work with,
So I
because
wanted to
that's a heavy storyline. But you wanted to say something?
So I wanted to ask really quickly because as us being twin flames, we're able to tap into people's energy and
Yes.
we work together in that effort. But because we are twin flames and everybody here that has joined the show, we want to include you into this twin flame experience. So we wanted to make make sure that everybody has a good understanding of what exactly occurred and transpired during Treader's early life, and in hopes that as everybody else taps into this experience, that we can all learn. So I
Yes.
kind of wanted to paint the picture a little bit better, and I want
Mm-hmm.
to have understanding. Where was your mother, Tretta, when all of this was happening?
She was in well, it started like he would be outside around the house and outside, and then she would be in the house doing something with some of the kids in there. So I would always go in and tell her what's going on.
Hmm. Yeah. So I find that interesting. And did your mom, she was aware of what was happening between you
Yes,
guys?
she was.
Hmm.
'Cause
And
I would tell her each and every time it happened.
I remember asking you when you were 4 years old, did you even understand what was going on?
No, all I knew was I couldn't explain what was happening. Actually, I would say he put his ding ding right there.
Hmm. And how often would you say that this was occurring throughout the years?
It would happen almost every day because he didn't go to work. He was doing some kind of pulp wooding. They call it pulp wooding. Was cutting down trees and loading them on the back of a truck.
Mm-hmm. And just to have also a better understanding of what you were going through at the time, did you, as a child, did you know that it was wrong? What was happening to you?
Well, actually, I guess I knew it was wrong because I was telling my mom. I was telling my mom what was happening because I felt it was wrong.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And you even said at times your mother would beat you.
Yes, she would beat me every time with a red belt. It had two lines of silver holes.
wow.
Wow.
So your memories are quite vivid of
Yes.
of the experience,
And
and
the clothing that I was wearing also, it was like little, those little dresses with the sashes on the back and those little green and yellow and panties. They would go with the dresses and everything. The dresses had to be really, really short.
mm, did any of your family members know what was going on with you?
Later on in life, I start telling people, but it was nothing nobody could do because this man, a lot of people in the area lived in the area was afraid of him, even the sheriff.
Mm.
Wow. Wow. I
So I
remember you told me that you there was a time when your mom ran away and he ended up shooting her. Is that correct?
Yes, she ran away and went over to her sister's house, and she took me and a few of the other kids that was there and everything. And me and my cousin was standing in the living room at her sister's house, and this man came and shot her. He through a window. It was an open window. He took a shotgun and shot her right in the leg, and I felt like some of the bullets or something was falling off, flying on me, hitting me and my cousin because we were saying, "Oh, we're shot, we're shot, we're shot."
Mm,
Wow. Tretta, do you recall if that was when you were small or were you a teenager by that point?
I was small then.
Okay.
mm,
One of the things that was disturbing about your story was when you revealed that as you got older, um, and your mother by this time, obviously she knew from the age of 4, but it seems like then she started kind of pimping you to go and get molested by him. You said that he owned 3 homes, and at one point, like he would be like during the daytime, he would work in one house, and
Mm-hmm.
and when it was time for dinner, your mom would cook dinner, and she would send you over there to let him know dinner was ready, and
Yes,
that's when he would molest you again.
yes, yes,
mm.
So it's
So,
like she knew that this was going to happen, so it was kind of like like she was serving you on a platter to him every day.
mm,
yes.
that's that's
Wow.
that's interesting. And then also, I find it interesting that your stepdad, he was quite a torturous spirit. He was quite the torturous energy to the fact that everybody was afraid of him.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
he really came um, into this lifetime with the intention of hurting people around him. And he was designed that way, obviously, from some of his own experiences, which we won't delve into at this point. But he really, really, he he really played the part very well.
Mm-hmm.
He played the
Yes, he
part
did.
very, very well. I find that very interesting. Um, so, when did you finally get a chance to have the adult talk with your mom? When did that
Well, you know
happen?
what, Janine, can we rewind it? Because when she was, I want to discuss the age you were, because you got pregnant 3 times.
Yes.
You got pregnant 3 times. Can you give us the ages you were before? Because I know when you had the
I
discussion,
was 13 when I had the first pregnancy. And
and then
then the second pregnancy I was 16 and
and
I
then the
had that
third.
baby.
Okay.
And then the third one it was like maybe I was 17 or 18 or getting ready to turn 18.
Okay. All
Mm.
right. Um, okay. So
So
then,
I just, again, I just wanted to find out at this point, since all of these events were occurring with you and your stepdad, at what point did you have the courage to have that conversation with your mother as an adult to say like, hey, he's doing this to me, um, you know,
I guess from the time it started when I was 4 and everything cuz I always told her.
yeah,
I always told her.
but
But I had to actually like run away from home with my child.
mm, wow, wow, this
And
is
it was 12 midnight.
mm. And how
how
did
old were you at that time?
I had turned 18.
Okay. And I just want to emphasize to everyone that unlike a lot of individuals, Tretta did speak up. She spoke up to many people, but no one had her back. No one covered her. No one protected her. So I just find that really disheartening about your storyline. Um,
Even the sheriff and everything, I told him, and he said, "You need to run away from home and only tell me where you're going." And I said, I thought about it because I'm a teenager and everything. I'm a female. If I tell only him, he could come and rape me and kill me also. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't run away from home and tell him like that because I didn't trust him either because he was a man.
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's where the trauma starts to obviously imprint in you, where you start to develop distrust from individuals that resemble that same energy, that same, which for you was a man, right? Was men.
Yeah.
So you did not trust the men around you, and I find that And a lot of people, obviously, that's usually how it starts. You have that imprint, and then it just kind of plays out when you don't, from an unconscious level, and you don't realize
Yeah.
where a lot of these things come from again. So, but Keish, continue on. Like, what else happened during the session? So were you, after you guys actually did some counseling, you did counseling with her and you got to the depth of her story. Where else did you go with it? What transpired next
So
after?
during her session, Tretta visited two past lives. The first past life, she was a Caucasian elderly gentleman. And the theme of his story, his lifetime, was he was very alone. And then we visited another lifetime, and it was a young Caucasian male. And the theme of his lifetime was he was very alone. So I found that very interesting that those two lifetimes kind of paralleled each other. Um, so the next step in our therapy was for me to call upon the subconscious, which is also known as the being of all knowledge. And for people who are not aware, that's another part of your spiritual team. And so I called upon them to come through, and unfortunately, they were not able to come through. So this is a little sidebar. When we filter out our clients before we do their session, we started asking everyone, do you have a throat problem, a coughing problem? And God made it where I didn't ask Trutter that,
Mm-hmm.
because when people are under hypnotherapy, if you're coughing, if you're clearing your throat because you have GERD, it's like equivalent to putting a plug in the wall and taking it out and putting it back in the wall. So you coming out of the therapy and then going back in, out and out, it causes you to not be in a lower level in your hypnotherapy. So we have 4 levels, and Tretta was teetering between the second and third level. I couldn't get her, actually between the first and second level, I couldn't get her way into the third level. Initially, she was, when she was in the lifetimes of those two gentlemen. But then when it came down to the subconscious coming through, they couldn't come through. So this is where, as clinicians, we are gifted because we know what to do in those kind of cases. And so in that case, I still asked the subconscious to work on Tretta. I still asked her spiritual team. I said, please, because what happened was in our interview, she revealed the issues that she was having throughout her body, including the 3 strokes. So a little thing I want to reveal is what Tretta taught me was that prior to her first stroke, from the time she was a little girl, especially when she was 4 years old, getting attacked by her stepfather, she used to see her angels and her spirit guide. She had a gift. She was
Interesting.
able to see other entities on the other
Mhm.
side, and that was her team that protected her
Mm-hmm.
mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And so Shredder revealed when she had her first stroke in 2018, she stopped seeing them. And so another thing she revealed was that she doesn't really dream anymore since 2018. And that's another stipulation that Janine and I have, is that if you don't dream, if you're clearing your throat, we know that it will be hard for us to work with you. So me knowing that she didn't dream, I didn't know about the throat, but me knowing that she didn't dream, I still took a chance on Tretta, because the way she called me for that appointment, I knew that was God having her call me. So going back to the therapy itself, they were unable to come through, but I still worked with her. I felt them in the room, and I still asked them to heal her from head to toe. And what was amazing was that when Tretta woke up, she said that she went to the bathroom and she was in there for a little while. And she said, "What did you say, Tretta, after you came out that bathroom?"
Oh, I said that I was looking on my phone through different things, and I
Oh, no,
saw
no,
my.
no, no, no. When you went to the bathroom, remember when you went to the bathroom and you revealed that you had urinated for a very long time?
Yeah, it's like my kidneys just automatically start just flushing.
Yes. And she said she hadn't urinated like that in a while, in a long
Yeah,
time, you said. And
it
I'm
was a
glad
long time.
and you know what? And I'm glad you mentioned your phone, because one of the things that I did ask, Tretta had a question about her ex-husband. And so I summoned him to come to the table. Even though I was unable to speak to him directly in the session, I told him that he needs to protect Tretta on the other side. And so then tell your story what happened when you said it was the next day you saw his name in your phone?
Yeah, I saw his name. No, that night. It was like early morning, like maybe like around 2 o'clock in the morning. I was looking at my phone and I'm saying, why is my ex-husband name coming up? The first and last name, it said Herman Smith. And it says, are you related to Ebony Smith? Are you related to Herman Smith? I'm saying, why is his name popping up here?
Because
And
I
then
asked him, I told him, I said, you need to look after your ex-wife.
So in other words, that was a sign that came through for her that her
Yeah.
husband was looking after her.
Oh yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want
And
to
and and
backtrack.
and and I actually scanned that the information to my photo gallery. I said, because nobody's not gonna believe this. Well, if I tell them.
That's great. So this
And
is
then I heard all kind of voices talking, lots
yes.
and lots and lots of voices talking, and I was talking with them, but I just don't know what they were talking about.
so you your portal kind of opened up or your veil
Yes,
thinned a little bit, and you did say that you were able to speak to the other side when you were little, and now all of a sudden after your session that these gifts kind of came back to you. It seems like, huh?
yes, yes.
That that's
And
fascinating.
one more thing. What else? What else happened? Do you remember? You
I
started
know.
dreaming again.
Yes, I did. I started dreaming again now. So no, so now I'm having dreams
Wow.
again. So far, it's pleasant dreams.
Wow.
Good.
So they really wanted to connect with you, and I find that to be just lovely. That's a beautiful gift that they were able to connect with you in that magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to
Yeah.
backtrack a little bit because I do want to talk about that some more, but I want to backtrack a little bit because I know that you had mentioned the two lifetimes, Keish, and the
Yes.
and in her lifetimes that she was alone in
Mm-hmm.
those lifetimes. And I just wanted to know what is your intuitive synopsis of why you think that she was alone and why the subconscious actually brought those lifetimes to her.
So, Treda, you and I had a discussion about your concern about living, because currently you're living alone now in this lifetime.
Yes,
You know, you
yes,
were married before, but now you're living alone. Your son is an adult. And so what and I didn't get the message at that moment, but I got the message a couple days later that the God and your spiritual team wants you to start trusting them. You do have a great walk with God, and I want to commend you for that. But they want you to fine tune your walk where they want you to start trusting and believing that you are going to be okay. Because you were strong back then, and they wanted to remind you that you were strong. You're still strong today, and you don't have to
okay,
worry. They want you to not worry, and that's really important because I know talking to you privately, you have some issues, and your fear is you being alone. And I'm pretty sure with you having a history of strokes, no one wants to live alone and not and have your fear is being alone if something happens. But your team is telling you that they want you to be strong and that you need to have a full faith in them that you're going to be okay because you're definitely going to be fine.
okay,
Yep.
Yeah. That I picked that up too, honestly, because especially when you said that all of a sudden now her gifts started to kind of come back a little bit. They want you to know that you are not alone and that they're
Mm-hmm.
always going to be with you. So they wanted to make that reconnection with you. So I feel like that's really powerful that they were able to do that after
Yes,
your
yeah.
session, after you had this certain level of awareness. So,
definitely.
tell me about some of the dreams. What have you been seeing in your dreams?
Um, it's all been pleasant and everything. I mean, I can't remember them now, right now,
Okay. But yeah,
but it,
one thing that happens for people who don't dream, sometimes those aren't like the ideal candidates for us when we
Yes.
actually do our sessions. And but we have to dig a little bit deeper just to see if we can continue with utilizing the tool of quantum healing, because we don't have to use it every time,
No.
um,
Okay.
for for some people, if you don't dream, we have to dig a little bit deeper to see if we're able to really get you into that deeper sleep state, because it's essential for you to be able to dream, so that way, because your dreams are that's the your dream world is where spirit talks to you.
Oh
So
yeah.
I know.
yeah, so
That
we
that's
have to
what
be
I
able.
had. That's what I had in the past, like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
your
So
gift is back. And that's what
Yes,
they want
it
you to know.
is.
They want you to know. So, in your times of loneliness, when you're praying and asking God for help and you're asking for answers, don't be surprised if your answers come through in your dreams.
I know that's what was happening in the past.
See?
so you have well, I want to commend you because, again, you have quite a traumatic story. And there's a lot of people out here that have suffered the same level of trauma. But one thing I notice about you and your energy, you're extremely jolly,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
carry such a light energy with you, considering everything that you've gone through, and what has happened to you could have definitely lowered an individual's consciousness
Mm-hmm.
for not only um, their childhood, but also carrying into their adult life, and
I
causing things like depression and addictions, even unliving yourself. People who,
okay.
yeah, who have experienced that level of trauma. I wanted to know, Tretta, though, just to coincide with what I see, are you mad? Are you mad at your stepdad?
I think I forgave him, even with him being dead already. I told him I forgive him
Mm.
because I feel like I have to go on with my life and everything. I even told my mom I forgive her too, but eh, that's sort of a process. Even though I told her I forgive her,
And your mom, she's currently living.
yes.
Hmm. So, how's your relationship with your mom now?
Um, we actually tolerate each other when we're around each other, and we're cordial to each other when we're around each other. But I don't know. It's hard to say that we have loved this loss because I didn't grow up with that.
Gotcha.
That's deep, and I really need people to understand that when we come into the lifetime and we have assigned ourselves parents, our parents are sometimes they're there to show us love and to teach us lessons, but then there are other parents who are just literally there to give birth to us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yes.
what it sounds like in your case, that your mother was so preoccupied with some of her own trauma. Because what I pick up from your experience is that your mom also had a lot of trauma and even molestation. And this is what I'm picking up, that your mom had molestation, and I'm also picking up that the molestation carries from generations. So this is generational trauma that
How
has happened.
how did you know? My grandmother, she let all this happen to my mother and her children. The
Well,
same stuff.
yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
knew it. I knew it. That's why we're intuitives. We know.
Yes, that's what we do. That's
We
what we
know.
do.
Yeah.
And I was picking up on that immediately, that this trauma has gone down the line several generations, and now it's here, you're in the belly of it. And when we
Mm-hmm.
are assigned this certain generational karma can be tough, because it's not something that
Yes.
is easy to pick up on. And
Mm-hmm.
then,
Okay.
especially in certain families and depending on the era, things were always swept under the carpet.
Oh yeah.
And you'll never know that that trauma even existed unless you start digging, right? And it's important for us to really be aware of the trauma, because that trauma, we don't know that that trauma also plays a part into our behaviors and our personalities. And you have no clue
Okay.
that you have no clue what's there. You have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's strange that you picked up on this because I didn't say nothing to Keisha or nothing about my
Mm-hmm.
mother being traumatized like that because her mother did the same thing to her.
yeah.
See?
She actually gave her and her sisters and brothers away
Hmm.
to some lady that was living in New Jersey that was actually like beating them and throwing them down flights of stairs.
This is your
Wow.
grandmother that did this?
Yes, she gave my mother away and my aunt and my uncle and everything. This lady that she gave them to, she was throwing them down the stairs. I mean, beating them, doing all kind of crazy stuff to them.
And your mom, how many children did she end up having?
My mother,
Yeah.
15. I'm the oldest.
So did she take care of any of her children?
Well, yeah, she took care of them, the children by the stepfather.
Now, did she really take care of them?
Because I know you told me that you had to do a lot of the work for her.
Yeah, I still had to do a lot of work. I had to know that the children, they thought I was their mother, and they thought I ran away from home and I was their mother.
See?
All the older ones that remember me taking care of them because they said all they remember is me washing their hair, feeding them, cooking, and cleaning the kitchen. I was always stuck in the kitchen.
Yeah. So
And you had revealed to me also that when you ran away, some of your siblings thought their mother ran away.
Yeah,
So
they
they thought
did.
that you were their mother, and they thought that their
They
mother
thought
ran
I was
away
there
from
because
them.
they didn't know my mother. Our mother was my mother too.
yeah.
See?
So, and there again, that's the repetition that happens with generational karma, is that even though, so your mom had 15 children and she was assigned to be the mother of 15 children, but she was more of a shell. She was an empty vessel, and
Mm-hmm.
she really wasn't a mother. And that's because nobody was a mother to her. And
Mm-hmm. Yep.
she doesn't know
She
what
didn't
it,
know how to be a mother.
she didn't know how.
She didn't
Oh,
have a
okay.
blueprint. She didn't have a blueprint.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So again, like these generational karma, it puts us in these cycles again unknowingly. And the generational karma, we're going to have to do another show about that, Keish, because
Yeah.
generational karma is a very, very heavy topic. And I personally, I suffer from generational karmas, and I think a lot of us do.
I do.
And there's you have to have a certain level of self-awareness. But one thing that too that I pick up from you, and I started to say this, is that because you are so jolly, and it's miraculous that you're so jolly
Yeah,
and your
because
energy is so light.
I
yeah.
guess because those two men, they were with me all throughout my life and everything. That's why I guess I have some kind of some part of peace in my mind.
And the two men that Chet is talking about is her angels. Or either they were
Explain.
her angels or her spirit guides. They were the
Explain,
people.
Tretta.
Yeah.
Explain. Who are these two men?
I think the two names that was revealed to me before was Michael and Andrew.
And
Mm.
when did they start showing themselves to you?
When I was 4 years old,
And
and
can you
I was scared at that time when I first saw any kind of spirits because I felt like, oh, they were going to come get me.
mm,
Especially the fact that you were afraid of men. Also, you didn't
mm,
trust any men. So
Yeah, but
these
them
two
two, for
gentlemen,
some reason, them two I could trust because I felt like they never tried to touch me or harm me or anything. They was always there whenever I was in some kind of trouble.
mm,
when
When
did you
when
realize?
my life was in some kind of trouble, they would always show up.
When did you realize? Because I mean, if at 4 years old, I remember seeing entities when I was younger and didn't realize that they were not of this world. What age did you realize, like, wait a minute, these must be my angels or something? Like, realize when did you know that this was not people that lived on Earth.
I guess I noticed that immediately because like when I was younger, seemed like I always saw something,
Mm-hmm.
somebody or something
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
that wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah. And one of the things that I want to reveal to everyone that I learned from Tretta, and I was not surprised, is that she does have a heavy walk with God. She does believe in God, and she does pray. You say you pray and meditate often.
Yes.
So that's really important to know about you because that's another thing that attests to why you are the individual that you are today is because you have a strong walk with God. And that's why I said before, they know that they just want you to have more faith and trust in them because
Oh, okay.
it's a little hard when you are praying and you don't see
Yeah.
you don't see who you're praying to. So a lot of times when we're in a point in our life where you're praying for something and you're in a bind, it's hard to say, okay, I'm going to fully put my faith in God. And I've been there many times. So they want you to
Okay.
understand. And also too, Jenny and I had discussed, it came over us, is that you need to tweak your abilities to understand when it is God talking to you, when God is giving you signs and clues to your answers.
Okay.
Because sometimes we don't know, like we'll pray to God about something, and then God will come to us with the answer from someone else. Somebody might call you and give you some information or give you an idea to help you in your time of need. And you need to understand that when God is giving you that information. Sometimes we think that God is supposed to swoop down and say, "Here goes the answer," but most of the time, when God gives us the answers, it's through other individuals,
Yeah.
or it could be you watching
Okay.
TV. So just tweak your ability to know when God is talking to you. That's another
Okay.
message that we got from your spiritual team after your session.
Oh, okay.
Does that make a little sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And that's a message for everyone. That really is. Because most of the time people get messages from, you could be in the supermarket and online talking to someone and they tell you something and later on you're like, wait a minute, was that God talking to me? So God utilizes everyone to give each other messages. So I just need you to just pay attention. It's like a scavenger hunt. You could be
Oh,
watching
okay.
TV and you could be seeing a commercial and it could be reflecting something that you asked God about. So they want you to just strengthen that ability to know when God is talking to you.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So, despite your trauma, you had such a beautiful setup. And I know this may be hard for some people to see or acknowledge because of the level of trauma that you experienced, but you were set up quite lovely. Number one, you had two male spirits. Well, they presented themselves as males that protected you,
Yep.
and
Okay.
you also have such a light and loving energy. Again, despite your trauma, and with you having that makeup, it leads me to believe that everything that you have gone through with your stepfather and your mom was indefinitely a soul contract.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
this is why it was important to have this open dialogue about your situation because people need to understand that despite the path that we may have been born into or had chosen to be on, sometimes soul contracts do occur. And these soul contracts, we have to understand the nature of these soul contracts and
Yeah.
how these soul contracts, how they create who we are. How they create who
Okay.
we are, how they have molded us into the personality types. And I can't stress this enough. I just find it so fascinating and interesting that they set you up so lovely to not have the anger and resentment that
Yes.
someone else easily could have had.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually a beautiful blessing and a lovely gift.
Oh yeah.
So I need you to know that, and I need the world to know this too, because I talk about this and I will talk about this forever and a day, is that our when we come here into this new life that we're all experiencing right now, that a lot of us, in order to understand our relationships with others and in order to understand our mission, we have to be able to battle three things in life. And one is forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
because you have automatically been programmed to forgive and to not hold on to resentment, that's why I say it's a gift,
Yeah, it is.
because you have bypassed having to combat the experience of letting go. You don't even have to learn how to let go. You let go, and now you're an adult and you're living your life the way you were designed to live your life. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that that is such a powerful, powerful message that everybody needs to know and understand, because everybody wasn't given that gift of
No.
that
Okay.
ability to be able to let go in the way that you have let go.
Okay.
And you have to let go in order to forgive. And in you experiencing forgiveness, there's still two other levels that you need to accomplish, right? And
Okay.
in the lifetime. And one is the next one is actually gratitude. And tell me, like, because you said that you forgave, and do you understand um how important it is to be grateful for the experience that you have had, despite the pain? Uh-oh, did we lose you?
Uh,
There we
no,
are. There we are. We're back. We're
I
back.
dropped the phone.
It's all good. But despite the pain, do you have do you feel any gratitude for your experience?
uh, I don't know.
Okay.
I think they say what doesn't kill you. How do they say it? It's a
Makes you
saying.
Makes you
stronger.
stronger.
It makes you stronger.
And that's the
Yes.
gratitude.
That's the gratitude.
So I have it then.
You're a
Yes.
strong woman. You sure are.
100%. You are a strong woman to be able to,
It took a couple of therapists to get me there.
and that's okay.
Amen.
That's okay, because sometimes we need that. We need interventions, and
Yeah.
therapy is a great way to receive intervention, and also understanding your spirituality and who you are as a spiritual being is also a great way of making it to that next level of higher consciousness.
Okay.
So I commend you for that. I commend you
Thank
for
Mm-hmm.
that.
you.
You
Thank you.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
you deserve all the praise and applause. And you are quite an example to other people who have experienced that much trauma, and maybe even less, maybe even more.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing and understanding that there is power within you to be able
Yes.
to forgive and show gratitude and to raise your consciousness. Because this is the whole point. That's the whole point. That's
Hmm.
why we're here in
Mm-hmm.
this lifetime. So, Keish, how did you finish it off? How did you finish it off with Miss Tretta?
Well, the finish off is about how we got here.
Yeah.
um, the session itself, like I said, she said she urinated a long time. We had a follow up appointment over the phone like 3 4 days later, and I believe I had included you in that follow up session, Janine. And
Mm.
that's when she talked about the dreaming and the hearing her spirit guides and angels. Um, and then what was phenomenal is that Shredder was willing to share her story. Janine and I were a little reluctant to ask you because this subject is very heavy. But when we asked you, you was like, "I'm willing to tell my story," and that's also is a trait of being a strong woman, because not
Yes.
only are you willing, you how can I put it? Not only did you get through the trauma, but you're willing to share your trauma because there are so many people out there, male and female, that have experience physical and mental trauma like you did. And
Yes.
they need to know that they're not alone, and they need to know how to get through it. So this story here is a prime example of how someone can get through it. And so another thing that we had discovered through our intuition was that they dropped in my head one day, because I kind of felt like I was like, there's something else you guys want us to do for Tretta.
Yes.
And they said we need for her to drop to break her soul contract with her mother and her stepfather.
Yeah.
And it was like an aha moment.
And that's the healing though, like
That's the
that's the
healing.
healing, that's the healing. Then that's what we need everybody to understand, that even though she has already accomplished the two levels
Yeah.
of her mission, which
Yeah.
is the forgiveness and then also the gratitude. How do we put her back in alignment with her purpose,
Yeah.
right?
And
And
okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
no,
I
go.
wanted to make a point that people must understand with soul contracts. When you go back, when Tretta eventually passes away, she will see her stepfather again, and probably the odds are her mother would be on the other side as well. And what happens is, people who need to come back and fix their karma, most of the time they want to fix the karma with those that have hurt them.
Mm,
And so what Janine and I are doing is helping Tretta not to have to do that again.
yes, yes,
Because it's not fair to Tretta. She has become this strong individual. She has a strong walk with God. And for her to go to heaven, and her mom and her stepfather are begging her to come back so the three of them can do it again and fix it, that's not fair to her. I wouldn't want to come back, let
exactly.
alone have you come back and go through the same process again, because unfortunately sometimes history repeats itself.
Yeah.
And so we have developed a prayer. Would you call it a prayer or a ritual? I don't know. What would you call what we're about to do?
It's more ritualistic, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I don't want it to sound scary. I don't even know if I like
No,
the word
no.
ritual. It's just a practice. It's a
Yeah.
technique. It's a technique.
A technique, yes. And this is for everybody. I
Yeah,
have done
everybody.
it myself 3, 4 times, because I will not come back and serve karma with people that have hurt me.
Definitely. And I think that that's one of the biggest things, is like, because people are starting to understand what soul contracts are all about, because there's a lot of conversations about soul contracts. It's kind of like, how do you get out of it? I don't want to
Exactly.
even be I don't even want to be in this mess anymore. So how do you
I
get
Let
had,
out of
alone
it?
I had,
come
I had
back.
never. This is the first time I ever heard of soul
See?
contracts.
But
I didn't know about it.
But luckily
Yep.
for you, your stepfather's dead. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
regardless of the fact that he's dead, we still need to make sure that you guys don't start cycle back into the
Yes.
same karma. And it's easy to actually break a contract, and you've already started the process, honestly, Miss Tretta. But
Mm-hmm.
Keish, you want to continue? Just let everybody
Yeah.
know.
So what I have developed, or I should say we have developed, is a technique, and it's customized to you. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, try to just make sure your camera is secure, because you're going to close your eyes,
Okay.
and you're going to repeat after me, okay? All
Okay.
right. Okay.
All right.
So I want you to repeat after me again. I, Tretta,
I try to
stand before God,
stand before God,
my spiritual team,
my spiritual team,
and my ancestors.
and my ancestors.
Today, on Sunday, October 13th,
Today, on Sunday, October 13th,
I am fully closing a profound chapter.
I am.
Fully,
Say it again.
I'm sorry, I am fully closing,
I am fully
closing, I'm sorry, closing
closing
a profound chapter
a profound chapter
in my life.
in my life.
I fully forgive my mother,
I fully forgive my mother,
who did not protect me.
who did not protect me.
And I fully forgive my father,
I
my
fully,
step, I should say
I,
my stepfather, and I fully forgive my stepfather.
I fully forgive my stepfather and my father. I fully
Okay,
forgive my father,
okay, who violated me for years.
Well, my biological father didn't violate me,
So
but
it's your stepfather. And
the
try to do me a
stepfather.
favor, fix your camera, baby.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry.
We were losing you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Who violate? Okay, so your stepfather who violated you for years.
My stepfather who violated me for years.
God,
God,
with love,
with
with
love,
yeah, with love, I will not return
I will not return
to this earth
to this earth
in other lifetimes
in other lifetimes
to fulfill any more
to fulfill any more
soul contracts
soul contracts
with these two individuals.
with these two individuals.
Okay, so try to, while your eyes are closed, I want you to visualize yourself standing before a fireplace. Okay. We
Okay.
also we also want you to visualize a piece of paper with writing on it. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. That represents the contracts you signed with the two of them, your mother and your stepfather.
Okay.
Now I want you to take the one piece of paper and tear it in half.
My
Okay?
hand.
You're tearing it in half.
Okay.
Now we want you to throw it in the fire. All right? Now I want you to have a moment of silence and I want you to just pray internally. Okay, so it's official. Your soul
Okay.
contracts have been completed and dissolved.
All right.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Congratulations.
Yes, yes, yes.
Congrats.
See? And you can do that with whoever you have um soul contracts with in your life. And the best way to know
Okay.
if you have a soul contract with someone is if you have this connection that won't go away.
Yeah, it's a connection that won't go away. You are strangely attracted to that individual, or even if you're kind of like born into it too, and it's an inevitable attraction, like a mother and a father relationship, whatever it is, but a certain level of attraction that is there. And whenever you want to step out of it, you just have to put it in the forefront of your mind and say, I no longer wish to be in this contract anymore, and
Okay.
you spiritually release them from their contract.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
sometimes too, what happens with soul contracts is, if we continue to have some energy that lingers between you and that individual, that the contract is, um, the contract is set to continue because there is a lesson that needs to be learned. But in this particular instance, again, which is such a beautiful thing, that you have forgiven, you have shown gratitude, and now you can exemplify love.
Mm-hmm.
And one way that you exemplify love, and this is very, very important and very powerful, and Keisha actually touched upon it already. And this is what God needs you to know, last but not least, Miss Tretta, is that you have to make sure that you share your story. And
Okay.
I find that it's very incredible that God sent you onto this journey with us, the
Mm-hmm.
twin flames, to make you
Yes.
aware and put you in a place where you're able to share your story with the world. Because, and the reason why that's important is because, your story can help heal others. And this
Yes.
and love comes in many different forms. It doesn't have to be in a romantic form or a mother and a child form. It doesn't have to be that way. But the way you love others is through our actions. And you
Mm-hmm.
are spreading the action of love
Yes.
by letting other people know that it's okay to give yourself the space to heal and
Yes.
to see power in your situations.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
you truly, 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 truly are, a testament of that. And again, I want to congratulate you on breaking your contract, and you no longer
Okay.
have to go through the pain and heartache anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And in this lifetime, you have learned your lesson, and the lesson And in you learning the lesson, you also can fulfill your purpose, and your purpose once again is sharing your story to others.
Oh
So
yeah.
congrats,
Yes,
Miss Tr-.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
It's a
welcome.
beautiful
How
gift.
do how do you feel? How are you
Yeah.
feeling right now?
Yeah.
I feel good.
Good, good.
And that's how you should feel. That's how you
Yeah.
should feel. So we actually wanted to do something special for you today too. Keisha and I wanted to do a tarot card reading if you were okay with that.
Yes, I'm okay with it.
So our readings come from our guides. They will assign a card to you. I am actually dealing my ancestor deck. My ancestor deck. I love this deck because this deck is it has to do with your definitely your spirit guides and your ancestors and the messages that they want to come through to you. I'm new to the deck, so I might have to read my book, but
Okay.
Keisha also is tapping into her deck. What deck are you using, Keish?
A light worker or oracle
Awesome.
deck. And I think it's perfect for Tretta because she's already have a walk with God,
Uh-huh.
and she is a light worker. Because people who bring light to wherever they go, who bring sunshine and sunflowers wherever they go, they're light workers, and that's what you
Absolutely.
are. You definitely are that.
I'm glad.
You are a light worker. So, I want to whenever you're ready, Keish, did you get your card?
Yeah, I got my card.
Okay. So, I'm going to reveal my card
It's
here.
funny because I read the first line and I'm like, this is Tretta.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Mine says guardian angel.
Oh.
Oh wow.
See, guardian angel, you are not alone.
Oh, I hopefully because I have this background. This one says, let me get it right. It says wisdom of divine feminine. So
Look
let
at
me see if I
that.
can get this for
I
you.
love that. Wisdom
Uh
of divine feminine. To me,
yeah.
that's automatically saying that that you being an elder spirit, now you can teach others again
Mm-hmm.
and lead them in their
Yes.
path of healing. But Keisha, you want to start
Wow.
first?
Okay, so it says divine feminine wisdom empowers you to grow into your vision, your dreams, and the fulfillment of your life purpose. Perhaps you have envision, I'm sorry, perhaps you have envisioned a very different life for yourself to what you are experiencing now. This wisdom reminds you that you can experience even the most extraordinary dreams as reality if you are willing to grow into what you desire to become, what you seek. Surrender any plans about how you can be can you how best you can manifest your dreams, and instead allow life to guide and nourish you through your experience each day. The universe supports your divine destiny and helping you become all you are meant to be.
Look at
So I
that.
mean, like the whole thing
Wow.
with the dreams, I think that's
Absolutely.
awesome. That's you.
Wow.
That's
Now,
her.
now there is more to this, but I'm going to actually send this to you. But I will say this. It says, when the wisdom of the divine feminine reaches you, the message is clear. You are in a process of becoming more of heaven on earth. Sometimes there are growing pains alongside the joy such growth brings. You may feel concerned, thinking your pain is an indication that you are failing in some way. You may judge your suffering as a sign that you are not operating at a high enough frequency. Yet, how many spiritual masters upon the planet have endured great suffering, as well as experiencing tremendous
Wow.
love and joy in the fulfillment of their divine destiny? Growing pains are just part of the feminine path of creation, of breaking through what has become too small for you. There's joy in the eventual freedom, but the act of breaking through can feel painful at times. When things are difficult, or you are feeling doubt, when you feel the need to do something that scares you and challenges you at the depth of your being, you are experiencing growing pains. There's more to it, but I'm going to send that to you. But
That
that
is
I think that's in
crazy.
alignment.
That's
Okay.
absolutely in
Yeah.
alignment. And that's also a message to the world, especially those people that haven't had the opportunity to learn and to heal from their experiences. That shows that you mother queen, you now possess this energy to be able to really heal and spread and spread love to people, and showing that yes, you have the power within yourself to go through growing pains and to
Yes.
come out victorious. So that's so
Yep.
beautiful.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
on point.
beautiful.
So my card, the guardian angel, again, I'm gonna show it to everyone. The guardian angel,
Okay.
That's a
which
beautiful card.
is so beautiful, and the message is even more beautiful. And it says here that you are not alone. And
Ah,
please know, yeah,
you're not alone.
watch for signs and reminders from your angels and loved ones that they are close by. Remember, they are working
Okay.
hard to guide you. And isn't that what we said to
We
you?
just said that.
We
Yes,
just said
yes.
that.
That's validation.
There you go. That's
Yep.
100%, that is validation. And whenever a white feather appears in your life and or this card appears in a reading, it's a message to say that your guardian angels and your ancestor guides are particularly very close at this time and are there to support you with their love. So,
Wow.
Oh,
And Tretta, can I ask you a question? Because the people need to.
sure.
Didn't you hear that from us a little while ago?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And I need for everyone to know that Janine and I didn't pick our cards until this very moment.
yep,
So when we get
Wow.
messages from the other side, this is just validation that when they speak to us and we give messages to our clients that this is real and that we're not
Wow.
making this up. So it's ironic that you got the same message twice. So this is just validation for you.
validation.
You're not
Wow.
alone, and your angels are with you.
So, Miss Treader, we cannot thank you enough again for healing the world. You are also part of this experience in healing the world. So we Keisha have a big mission to
Oh.
do. So welcome to the team.
Yes.
And there's
Hey.
so many more people that we are hoping will have that opportunity to heal the world. And thank you again for stopping by, everyone.
And
Remember,
you know what? I
yeah.
want to ask Miss Tretta, is there anything you want to say to the audience before we go?
I don't know what to say.
It's okay.
Well, you already said it. What doesn't
You
kill
did.
you, what makes you stronger, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it will. It
Definitely.
will.
Definitely. So
Excellent.
remember, everyone, that God is love. Love is the highest frequency, and go and find the
Yeah.
God within you. God bless everybody.
God bless everybody. Bye.
Bye bye.